My dad was very protective about sharing this knowledge because that was our secret sauce.
So I would tell my friends that, oh yeah, we have a dog business, and they'll be like, oh, unheard of, right?
From 1994-5, I'm here with the dogs.
Whichever competition I entered, we got only gold.
But there was a problem that there was only certain type of dogs we could train. I would just put this tag untrainable, but actually it was because my methods were wrong. These dogs which were willing to give their lives for us, we actually killed them.
The heart that it takes to admit that you are wrong after gaining so much success in the field using that method, and then being like, okay, but this is wrong, I'm going to start from scratch again. And
if I did that to 1 lakh dogs, then through me and through my trainers who I train now onwards, I want to impact positively the lives of more than 1 crore dogs. I cannot just sit here and hope that it happens. I need to do something about it. And my vehicle is my business. The business has to become bigger.
Because we had all that experience of having studied in MBA and also myself teaching management subjects to the students. And I thought it will be very easy for me to just inform my team, tell them this is what we need to do, and everything will be sorted and we will be able to upgrade ourselves. But then that is not what happened.
Commando Kennels group, as we call it, is a group which does lots of different things, but everything related to dogs. In B2B, we provide canine security services. Now, within canine security services, we have got your guard dogs and assault dogs and protection dogs, patrolling dogs, dogs that stop thieves from coming or going. And then we have the detection dogs, dogs that detect bombs, dogs that detect narcotics, and now in that there's search and rescue. There is so many other cadaver search dogs and many other specialization, but many of them are using the dog sense of smell, largely.
Commando Kennels was the first organization to start training of dogs, and was the first, and with the training only started the boarding also, because we were looking after the pets so well. Now today we have such a big facility where we are able to keep so many dogs.
In the B2C business, there are a few things we do. One is, of course, we breed dogs. We've been breeding dogs now for 40 years. The breeds change. Right now we are breeding Malinois and poodles and border collies, and now we started breeding some Indian breeds as well. And so those are the breeds we have right now. But other than breeding, what we largely do and what we are really known for is training of dogs. So we train dogs. Of course, in B2B, we train for business, but we also train your house dogs because we've been training dogs all our life. That is our primary skill set.
It's been so wonderful to see him being recognized for all the effort he's put in when the industry was asleep. Like for the longest time, people didn't know it existed. I would tell my friends that, oh yeah, we have a dog business, and they'll be like, oh, unheard of, right?
My intention for becoming a businessman itself was because it would be something that would help me to be close to my parents and my family. And back then my dad was running a restaurant, and I thought, okay, if my dad's running a restaurant, then the best way I can contribute to it is by doing hotel management.
So in front of the house, I made a small shop, and in that I used to sell tandoori chicken. And it became a hit. But then gundas, antisocial fellows started coming to my shop and troubling me. I didn't want to go to the police.
Because he had learned dog training as a hobby, he got the idea, why don't I just train a dog and put it here? So he trained a dog, he placed the dog near his cash counter, The dog would growl at people if they would come close, and chase people away literally.
The minute I kept a dog, all these fellows were vanished.
Suddenly we used to hear shouting and then we used to run out. And then before we could reach them, they'll all be running away in Himayatnagar in different directions. This dog would be barking, such a small dog.
The dog, of course, started making name for herself, and people would come and ask, who trained this dog? How was she trained so well? And when my dad said that he's trained himself, that led to inquiries. Can you train a dog for me? Can you help me to get a trained dog? Why don't you provide security to my factory?
I said, why this tandoori chicken shop? Let me get into dogs. From 1994-5, I'm here with the dogs. So many dogs, 4-legged and 2-legged dogs in the
So my dad was very protective about sharing this knowledge, because that was our secret sauce. That okay, if people know how we're training our dog, then people will start training the dogs themselves. And that was the mindset he had. And me, having joined the business, totally followed him. And we would, having this 3-acre farm which we are in right now, we would go out and train the dogs so that our employees also cannot see how we are training. I realized that in a few years, as my dad was growing older, he was training lesser and lesser dogs. I said, what will happen 5-10 years from now? We have a capacity for 300 dogs, but at that time we had around 40-50 dogs. How will we grow to 300? Why have we taken this big place, and what will we do? So that thought used to eat me up a lot back then. But having come from a hotel management background, I knew there's something known as standardization of recipe, which means there's a fixed recipe. It doesn't matter who the chef or cook is. You follow all the instructions and you'll get the same result and the same taste of the food in the same restaurant every time you go. And I thought, okay, maybe we can apply this to dog training. So I finally spoke to my dad, convinced him, and we started training trainers within our system. But there was a problem that there was only certain type of dogs we could train. And that limitation started bugging me, that okay, if I'm a good trainer and what I believe is a perfect method of training, why is this certain percentage of dogs that either I don't train at all, or if I train, it's a disaster. I would just put this tag untrainable. But actually it was because my methods were wrong. We were still doing decent numbers. Even as business, we had trained good number of dogs. We had many dog sports. First time in India, we had introduced. Our dogs were famous. We were making good name. So name, fame, money, everything was there.
Participating in dog shows, winning became a habit. Whichever competition I entered, we got only gold.
So we kept growing and we were learning. But the business part of it now needed attention. And as we were growing from, we started initially with around 6 team members other than my parents and me. We had grown to around more than 100, 150 by then. And we realized that our own Lala methods are not going to last, work on everything. And we had to modernize and learn. And parallelly, Neetu was, of course, we were already married, and parallelly she was having her own career as an educationist and later on as an administrator in education. Through her work, she would always contribute. We would have discussions. So a time came when we both felt that it is now the time for her to come into the business, because the business is growing, and it will be great if she joins and if she can bring in that skill set, which of course I still lack to this day.
As I come from the hospitality background, so from operations of hospitality background, I was working with Taj Group of Hotels, and also hospitality education. So I was working with Ivy League colleges of the world, because we had all that knowledge from the experience of having studied in MBA and all our management books, and also myself teaching management subjects to the students. And I thought it will be very easy for me to just inform my team, tell them this is what we need to do, and everything will be sorted and we will be able to upgrade ourselves. But then that is not what happened. To improve the customer experience, first thing we did is to give training in soft skills to the team, and the way the pets were enrolled, like before admission, what is going to happen during the admission, after the admission. I think those are the things that I brought in place.
Basically, we were a group of indisciplined people doing whatever we felt was right, and Neetu was bringing in structure. So there was a lot of, the first thing she faced was resistance. People were not liking being told what to do.
I realized when I was facing all these challenges from the team members, I realized that they felt that they are being micromanaged, and I felt that my background was professional or educational background was, I think, maybe more concept and theory based. Whereas here, when you actually have to execute this in reality with the team, it is very different.
So I told you that when we were learning, when we were training, there was this part that always bugged me. Why are we not able to train every dog? And thankfully, by God's grace, we got a lot of exposure outside India. We started traveling to dog shows. We started attending seminars, and we realized that the dogs are different. That the dogs, it's the same breeds that we have, but they just look happier. It's only a dog trainer who knows. If you look at me with my dog and look at them with their dog, you would think both are the same. But I know that my dog has got that fear in his eyes because he knows that if he makes a mistake, he'll get a correction from me. We have that set. So just to explain to you what's the difference between these two, think of yourself as a signal. You want to jump, but you're not jumping because there's a cop standing, then it is fear which is making you show that behavior. That's correction-based training, because if you jump the signal, there'll be a fine. Positive reinforcement training is when you're working for a reward. You're moving to a mindset, I hope he sees me and I hope he comes and gives me a reward. So your whole reward and your whole attitude towards life itself changes. And that was the first thing which intrigued me. Then without that sort of, without that fear, how is the dog obeying you so well? And let me also just put here that when we say correction-based training, it doesn't mean that we are whacking the dog and hitting the dog. I mean, there are those sort of trainers who've done that, and we used to always feel much better than them. But our dogs were still being taught through fear. And what really hit me when I was in one of these training sessions with my trainer, she told me that by using correction, we end up impacting the lifespan of dogs. I said, how did that happen? She said, this whole cortisol released through the life. Think of the lifespan of your dogs. And now I have my own data that back then, dogs with us used to live around 6 to 7 years. Nowadays, they live around 12 to 14 years. So look at this. 5-6 years minimum. These dogs which were willing to give their lives for us, we actually killed them. I mean, that shock. I mean, that when she told me that day, I really broke down. And every time I say this brings a lump in my throat. That how did we not see this? Now we see it happening, and we also realize that through us, not only did it impact those lives, but the trainers that I trained, those guys must have gone and trained so many dogs. So I did a calculation, and in my opinion, more than 1 lakh dogs lived shorter lives because of me. Oh, that guilt is very difficult to bear. And my trainer, Susan Freeman from US, when I told her this, she just said one thing that, we've all been through this journey and we needed to be there to be where we are today. Had I not seen that and been there, I would have been very mild about positive reinforcement training. But knowing that this happened because of me, so just look at that just look at the number. But knowing that really drives me now. That okay, if I did that to 1 lakh dogs, then through me and through my trainers who I train now onwards, I want to impact positively the lives of more than 1 crore dogs.
Like I've seen my dad unlearn a completely different method of training and switch to positive reinforcement, and the heart that it takes to admit that you are wrong after gaining so much success in the field using that method, and then being like, okay, but this is wrong, I'm going to start from scratch again. And that was just so inspiring.
Knowing that I want to impact the lives of 1 crore dogs, I cannot just sit here and hope that it happens. I need to do something about it. And my vehicle is my business. The business has to become bigger. The business had to scale. So as I wanted to grow my business and I really wanted to expand, I started scaling the business at my pace and setting departments in place, putting people in place, and also giving away some of my works which I was doing on a regular basis. I was pretty happy with where we were, and I think, okay, we'll keep growing. And one of the programs I came across there back then was I saw Rajiv Talreja's program from Quantum Leap. And he was talking about his breakthrough seminar and saying, hey, if you're a businessman, are you always firefighting? And I was saying, no, I'm not. I'm not actually always firefighting. So what have you got to say? So he's made some points, and I was like very happy thinking, okay, this is a place where I can go for validation. Let me check against his scorecard. Based on his, I'm sure I'll score 7 or 8. Let us see what's the 20% I'm missing. So I walked into this. I think I came out, first of all, awed by the guy. So well he delivered. And second was, there was so much for us to do. And I realized that if we do it the way he's saying, What I am thinking will take another 20, 30 years can be achieved in 10 years. Maybe it will be faster than in actuality. But I could see that this could actually happen.
So an MSME business is very different from a corporate or a hotel or something like that. One very strong and important pillar for the organization is the team itself.
And one of the things we have learned in our journey is that structure cannot be implemented from top to down. It has to be something which is created together.
And this world was totally different. And I realized that these people are not wrong at all. After all, they are the ones who had been carrying out the business. And if the business has grown and it is popular, it is recognized well by such a huge customer base, it's all because of whatever effort that has gone in by them. So I felt that people are not wrong. It's just that how we should manage them, that has to be different.
I think clarity is really the key word for us. Once everyone knows where we are going, everyone knows what is expected of them, we are able to give them feedback in a structured way which is actually beneficial and positive for them and the organization.
When it comes to paperwork, when it comes to organizing things, we were more into the ground level. The SOPs and the structures were not organized. We used to go to a good training project, we used to forget few things.
So it was the first strategic meeting that we were having, and we went out of the campus to do that with all our team members over there, and my perspective of how a good leader should be totally changed. What my realization was that what I had done, somewhere I felt very responsible for what they went through, and I felt genuinely very apologetic about it, and I then said sorry to them. The emotions were very raw, the emotions were very high. So when we told them and spoke to them about the vision of the organization and to go to the next level, we need them and that we want to take them all along with us.
We asked them to share their aspirations and they shared with us. And then we as a team created aspirations for the business. The team feels free to tell that this may not work for this reason. And many times we say, okay, then let us do it some other way. And we try another way. If that works, great. If it doesn't work, we can try this way.
Whether we framed the company policies, whether we framed a culture charter, or it was our standard operating procedures, everything was done in consultative mode only. And because they have been a part of the entire process, and because they are the ones who are forming the constitution in every aspect of it, so it was easy for us to administer it also.
Everyone being involved is a very big change which is there, because now they feel, okay, this is us, and they're invested in the process, and they think it's part of what I thought, and they are invested in making it a success.
And we also said, let us now name this. So everyone came with different names, and then Tagdedele was decided, it was chosen. It has a very beautiful meaning. It says, no looking back.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we have come a long way, to be very honest. See? And 10 years before, the things were not what it is today. That is, I am telling in terms of systems, and in terms of what we are doing on a daily basis, in terms of the reporting, in terms of the interaction that we are doing on a daily basis, constant discussion is going on. We are working in such an environment now that it is going to be a win-win situation for each and everybody.
We are organized now. We are well planned now. And our boys, like for us, grooming was not an important thing. For us, groundwork, dog, but now the grooming, the self, the way we present, all those things have come after Neetu Madam has joined Commando Kennels. So we could say that Commando Kennels have moved to the next level, and Neetu Madam is like a bridge to us.
Lifespan of our dogs has increased, and we are able to train every kind of dog. It just has to be a dog, is all I say. I met recently someone from a good training school who said that they are struggling to train Indian breed dogs. And then we have got Indian breed dogs now here, and we are training them. So forget about dogs. We are even training chicken. We are able to train fish. We can train any animal. Okay, it's because we understand the science of animal behavior, which is the same across species, not across breeds. World over, it has been established that the best way to learn dog training is to learn chicken training for a few days. Because when you train a chicken, you have to get rid of all your previous whatever you have in your head. Suppose a Rottweiler, you think, okay, this breed is like that. If a dog is doing it, okay, he's being stubborn. All that has to get out of head. It's an animal which has to be trained. You can't put a choke chain, you can't tug it, you just have to use your knowledge and understanding of behavior to train the animal. And when you do that with a chicken, it's very easy to transfer that skill to a dog. So I'll tell everyone out there, go out there and learn how to train a chicken. We are very fortunate that we were selected by the Rashtriya Raksha University to partner with them as canine education partners, and it is a matter of great honor and pride for us. But more than anything, it's a wonderful opportunity for us to reach out to another section, which is the service dogs. When I say service dog, these are dogs of all the police agencies and central armed police forces and state police and army. All these dogs, I think in India, they are close to, if I'm not wrong, 15,000 dogs employed across these agencies, and a lot of those dogs are not trained through positive reinforcement. A lot of the dogs still see force, they still use outdated methods of training, and the results are also similar. We recently conducted a Bharat Canine Summit. This is the first time there's a multi-agency summit where all the agencies sat in one room and did a brainstorming on what we can do better. We are on talks of now offering this to at least 50 countries. So that impact from education point of view also, there's a lot of exciting things happening there. I don't know financially what it will do, but I think for the larger impact, which is the real goal of impacting 1 crore dogs, that is like going to happen very fast. And that's another front where we are working in, and now our training courses, grooming courses are all part of a university with a university government of India certification. So it carries a lot more value in the market. So again, it's a win-win. The student is getting more value, the university is happy to be part of it. We are glad that we have a much wider reach.
So when he comes and says this is happening, I said, oh God, all this has become a huge industry now.
Today, we are here with establishment, providing jobs to people and doing quite well. Day and night, that's the only thing that I have to, relish.
Now my daughter is also part of the business. I can tell you this, that it is not for the money. They are able to earn more than what they can earn here through their own jobs or when they start business. But they really love the environment that has been created by these two generations.
It's great to be part of a vision that is so meaningful and that is so centered around just serving and building the people and the families around us. I think that vision really drives me.
So, I told you about this guilt that I have been carrying for a long time. So I claim what I did. I feel bad for what happened. But I use that as a motivation for me to do what I am doing now.
And for an Indian brand to be known for that level of quality and care, I think is the dream.